this long road trip for the Phils comes to a close this afternoon here at Miller Park, and the Phillies fans are hoping for maybe a victory here today. The last time the Phillies were in this boat was just the other day in Arizona. They had lost the first two, and then they won the finale. Now, if the Phils can win today, they'll finish up the road trip with a 5-4 record. Speaking of the road trip, they won the first 3 games against the San Diego Padres. Here are the numbers. Now, the big issue lately has been, the last 6 games, the starters' earned run average, 6.70. The bullpen hasn't been what it was the first 3 weeks since the All-Star break. The Phils are hoping to change that this afternoon. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. All right, so the Phils are hoping to quiet this Brewers offense. The Brewers have won 6 straight in this season series. And it's not Braun or Lou Croy or Adam Lynn that they're trying to quiet down. They're actually trying to quiet down Scooter Gennett, who's been on fire against them this year.
He's been on fire. He's like a little gnat that won't go away, the little mosquito, the big mosquitoes up in Canada. He's a guy, what was very impressive with last night's game, he had 4 hits. First time he had 4 hits in one game. Good display hitting last night. He hit the ball to right center, which I was very impressed on an off-speed pitch. Safe to the zone, fastball away. Hey, I'm going to go to left field. He's a type of hitter that knows what he's capable of doing. He doesn't overswing. He has a very good speed, very good bunt. This was a perfect bunt last night. You know, so it's very important to have a guy knowing your role. Then all of a sudden he comes up, fastball inside. You think you make a good pitch to him. He tucks his hands inside, hits the ball up the middle for an RBI.
Well, and the Brewers are wondering, well, why is this not the case every time they face an opponent? Now, for the season, he's 11 for 19 against the Phils. For his career, and it's shocking, I don't even remember this, but 17 for 46, a 370 batting average. He also has 10 RBIs in his career. He's not an RBI guy, but 10 RBIs in his career against the Phils. Well, the other end of the spectrum is the Phils need to hit better with runners in scoring position, and they're going to need to do that today against Taylor Youngman, a guy that they've already seen once before.
Well, I saw him once before, and he's got tremendous stuff. He's a guy that goes out there at 6'6". He's got a very quick move, and you see right here the graphic: 12 starts, 6-4, 2.42 ERA. Number that jumps out for me is the 24 walks that he's thrown. He's a guy that goes out, pounds the strike zone, very tall. You think a guy at 6'6" would have a hard time pounding the strike zone? Like I mentioned, this last time they faced the Phillies, he has a very quick feet, very quick move. Picked off Cesar Hernandez right there. He can throw this curveball when he needs to. The league is sitting $134 versus his curveball. He has a very good changeup as well. Late movement on his changeup. He's a ground ball pitcher, and he's a strike thrower. His
motion is a lot like Doug Fister of the Washington Nationals. Now, the Phillies have to deal with that this afternoon, and they have to deal with the fact that they're looking to get above the 500 mark for this road trip. They're 4-4 going into today's ball game, looking for win number 5. Taylor Youngman making his 13th start of the season. Aaron Harang will be making his 21st start for the Phils. Things have not gone well for Aaron Harang since he's come off the disabled list. Well, Chase Utley is out of the lineup for this afternoon, available off the bench for the Phils. Odubel Herrera, though, is back in the lineup. Odubel seems to have found his swing again. When we come back, we'll go to the Comcast Sportsnet studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. open, and we're ready to go for the final game of this 3-game series and this road trip. Pete Buchanan's team is hoping for a victory. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Cesar Hernandez leading it off at second base, then Freddie Galvis and Odubel Herrera. Ryan Howard bats cleanup, then Andres Blanco hits fifth. Dominic Brown sixth, then the bottom third of Ruiz, Ashe, and Aaron Harang. And they will face right-hander Taylor Youngman. Youngman making his second start of the year against the Phillies. Overall 6-4, a 2.42 earned run average. Matt, he was not supposed to stay in the big leagues, but he threw so well in his first game, they decided to keep him, and it's actually turned out quite well.
He's pitched very well, except for his last start. His last start, he had a hard time throwing strikes, got roughed around a little bit. Take a look here at the scouting report. 3-pitch pitcher, average velocity is 92. He will use his fastball 70% of the time, his curveball 22% of the time. He will mix and change 7% of the time as well.
He'll face Cesar Hernandez, Freddie Galvis, and Odubel Herrera. All right, Matt, bring it home, baby.
All right, time for the Nissan keys to the game. And key number 1 is Freddie Galvis, relax and enjoy the show. You're in the big leagues. You're uptight sometimes. You don't get hit. Get hits, have fun. And 2, finish the road trip on a good note.
Yeah, the Phillies can win today. They're 5-4 on this road trip. Now, they started out 3-0. And they've lost 4 of 5, but still. So here's Cesar Hernandez. And the first pitch to Cesar taken outside. We're underway, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Chase Utley having today off. He's getting a little sun. He's got his sleeves rolled up. A slap foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cesar 84 hits so far this year. You take a look at what he's done on this road trip. He is 8 for 26. As the leadoff hitter this year, he's hitting .280. Takes another one off, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Luck McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant. Boy, wouldn't it be good if Cesar hit a home run to start the game? It's Miriam Lehman of Malvern. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Miriam will win $100. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In the dirt with that breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Youngman, during his minor league career, was 35-29 in 91 games with an ERA of 4.10. He's a big-time prospect for the Brewers. Former player of the year during his college years. And he picks up his first strikeout of the day. I don't know if Cesar didn't see it. I don't know if he didn't expect it, but that one looked like it was right down the chute. So 1 out.
I'm not sure if he was sitting off speed, but he had to be sitting off speed. You don't take a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Freddie Galvis, the team leader in hits with 107. 1 for 7 in this series. Batting in the 2-hole where he's been often this year as he fouls it back. This is his 35th game as the number 2 hitter for the Phils. Bruce Dreckman is the home plate umpire. Fielding Colbreth is over at first. Jim Reynolds at second. Manny Gonzalez around at third. A veteran umpire crew. The youngest, of course, is Manny Gonzalez over at third base. Swing and a miss, 0-2 out front of a curveball. Matt, what's it like for a hitter right now this time of day? I know you mentioned it last night. Is it difficult because, well, I mean, both the hitter and the pitcher are in the shade, but with that sunshine out in the outfield?
I don't think it's as bad as it will be soon.
Galvis waves at the breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Youngman.
Or maybe it's really hard to see right now. You know, usually if the pitcher's in the sun and the hitter's in the sun, it's fine. I mean, but they're both in the shadow right now, and the batter's eye is still dark as well. So,
yeah, they have half the stadium, half the roof closed. The right side of the stadium, the roof is closed. The left side, the roof is open. See, it's just past the Robin Yount number. And if it was even, it would be just past the Raleigh Fingers number in left field. It's not that. Odubel Herrera is 3 for 7 with 2 doubles last night. He takes a fastball. I mentioned last night that the Phillies rookie record for doubles is 39. Now Odubel would still need 15 to match that record. So it's
possible.
It's possible. He's probably not going to reach it, but it is possible. The record held by Kiddo Davis, who played 137 games in what was termed his rookie year as a member of the Phillies in 1932. Sometimes when we see those names from way back when, it gives you a little baseball history lesson. For Kiddo Davis, he played in 2 different stints with the Phils and wound up with an 8-year career. Swing and a miss, and the side is retired. He has struck out the side to begin the first inning. 2 swinging, 1 looking. Middle of the first, it's the Phillies nothing, and the Brewers coming up for the first time. Game, but his team picked up another victory over the Phils. Let's take a look at his starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Peterson, Lucroy, and Braun, followed by Adam Lind, Chris Davis, and Scooter Gennett. And the bottom third of Gene Segura, Elian Herrera, and Taylor Youngman. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Aaron Harang. Matt, the veteran, is due. He's 5-13. He's tied for the league lead in losses, and it has not gone well for him.
No, it has not.
First pitch is swung on and missed. It's 0-1.
See the scouting report on Aaron Harang. Average fastball 89.4. He's a 5-pitch pitcher, and you see the 7.7 to 4.40 ERA versus the Brew Crew.
6-2 here at Miller Park. His earned run average is very similar against the Brewers here at Miller Park. This is his 11th start here in the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peterson, 1 for 7 in the series. And there's a ground ball diving stop. Andres Blanco. His flip to first is in time. That ball was by him, and he was able to make the catch.
Well, since the injury to Michael Franco, Cesar Hernandez and Whitey have played very well over at third base, making some very nice plays. And this is a ball, like you said, Tom, hit behind him. Tough read coming off a left-handed bat. But Whitey, the crafty veteran he is, makes a nice play and he needs to go to first.
Yeah, Michael Franco, talking with him this morning, he took batting practice yesterday inside the cage, off the tee, and took some flips. And his wrist is still bothering him. In fact, it's sore today. And he did not take any swings under the stadium today. So he said that he's probably going to get checked out tomorrow just as a precaution. But everybody is hopeful, and they think he'll be in the lineup this Tuesday when the Phillies return home. Jonathan Lucroy takes a strike. It's 0-2. Michael was kind of frustrated today. He is not wearing the brace anymore. You can see the bruise on his wrist. He was showing it to us today. Down the right field line. That's going to stay fair. Dominic Brown will get to it as it goes to the corner. He better hurry. Lucroy does not have great wheels, but he's already around second, heading to third. The ball mishandled by Hernandez. And that's going to be a triple all the way, his second one of the year. Well, Murph, this is just an indication of what the Brewers have been able to do against the Phils. A lot of extra base hits and, of course, 6 victories right out of the chutes.
Yeah, that is not exactly the way the Phils wanted to start this one, looking to at least get one win over this Milwaukee team before this season series is all said and done. As you mentioned, it has not gone well for the Phillies, neither in Philadelphia or here in Milwaukee. No wins for the Phils. You see the Brewers have scored 35 runs, or a team average of 3.27. You look at their starters ERA, their bullpen ERA, the Phillies starters ERA at 6.88. Nothing has really, all facets of the game have been failing for the Phils against this Milwaukee team. And as I said, just trying to get one before they get out of here and end this season series. But I can tell you, some of the fans here, including the guy right next to me, they have their brooms. They are ready to sweep the Phils out. That's what they're hoping for as well. He's sweeping me out as we speak.
Was that the Grand Poobah? Is that Mr. Cunningham next to you?
Yes. No, I think that is a homemade Schlitz Tallboy hat.
Oh, nice.
I'm guessing. You crocheted that yourself? It's actually kind of cool.
Did you crochet that yourself? Ground ball left side. Here comes Lucroy. He's going to score, and Braun is safe at first. That'll be an RBI infield single. 1-0 Milwaukee. I mean, they can look at this. I think he beat it just for the naked eye. Freddie came charging it. He peeked for a second at Lucroy, and that may have cost him because Ryan Braun smelled a hit and he was moving. And they are going to review this, so the Phils must have seen that they're that he was out.
Yeah, that was a quick review right there.
Yeah, so Pete must have gotten the word that yes, he was definitely out. Either way, the Brewers are on top 1-0. I think Ryan Braun credit though, he was moving up the line. That RBI for Braun is 66th of the year. Pete talked about last night's review. He said last night's review just looked odd. That's why they decided to review it. Here's the throw from Galvis. Hey, he's out.
He's out.
Yep. So that's going to turn out to be a good review, although it's a good ground ball for Ryan Braun.
Well, you know, 2 things that would have been totally different. One, if you would have touched the front of the bag.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have been very close. But just Ryan didn't stretch towards the throw. Ryan stretched
Howard?
toward, yeah, double Ryans. Howard didn't stretch towards short.
Well, the signal from the first base umpire Fielding Colbreth is that he is out. So the review is good, and the Phils will retain their challenge. If he was talking about the review last night where Chase Utley was way too far off the bag and he was out, but then the ball rolled out of Gene Segura's glove, he said it just didn't look right. He said, so that's why we reviewed it. He said we knew he was out, but it didn't look right. You know, there was something wrong because the ball was jarred from his glove. As it turned out, New York agreed with him. Adam Lynn takes a strike. It's 0-1. Chase, when I was talking to him today, said, yeah, I was out. He said, I should have been out. He said, but my spike did get caught in his glove, and originally I was told that there was control, and then New York told the umpires there wasn't control. He said, but I was out. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lind. Outside, 2-1. Lind is 0 for 6 in this series. softly to the right side. Cesar Hernandez is up with it. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the first. But they do get a run thanks to the triple by Jonathan Lucroy. On to the second with the Brewers up 1-0. Bank Park between the Phillies and the New York Mets. First place New York Mets, who lost yesterday, but so did the Washington Nationals. Tickets can be purchased for all 4 games and also the 2 games coming up against the Blue Jays by going to Phillies.com. Top of the second, Brewers up 1-0. Taylor Youngman has struck out the first 3 hitters that he has faced. And we'll face Ryan Howard, Andres Blanco, and Dominic Brown here in the top of the second. Howard 2 for 8 in the series with an RBI. Takes a curveball on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. There's a liner out towards center. Peterson comes in. Did he make the catch? Nope, he dropped it. And Ryan Howard is safe at first. So that'll be the first hit of the day for the Phils. Leadoff single, and now Andres Blanco's coming up.
Oh, just under the glove. Never even had it.
You have great eyes, Matt.
Thank you. Peterson kind of took a little roundabout way to get there because it was a sinking line drive.
Yeah. I still thought he was going to catch it. Blanco making his 17th start of the year, his 9th at third base. He's a .310 hitter with 8 extra base hits as a starter. Short lead off first for Howard. That one is looped out toward left. Chris Davis comes in. Back to first goes Howard. Dominic Brown is coming up. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Dominic Brown 0 for 4 in this series. Not a great road trip for Dominic. 1 for 16. The one hit was a home run. Overall hitting .233. He went according to the home plate umpire, Bruce Streckman.
Well, Dominic has got back into a bad habit. He wants to attack the ball so hard that everything is just leaving the zone. He has no structure for lower half to hit right now.
when he was hitting at home, he was getting the lower,
right,
his lower body
right
into
now,
it.
once it's hip, whoop, there it goes.
It's already out.
Once it goes and once it leaves, your upper body goes with it. Now all of a sudden the swing goes in and out of the zone instead of going through the zone and finishing high. So one, he's either starting too late, or two, he's gearing up for the wrong pitch every time and he wants to crush everything.
4 strikeouts for Youngman. 2 swinging, 2 looking. And there are 2 outs here in the second.
This is a pretty good fastball inside. Caught the corner. And
that's a good pitch.
it is. It's a good pitch.
Carlos Ruiz starting for back-to-back games. 0 for 4 in last night's ball game with a strikeout. 2 for 12 on this road trip. Swings and fouls it off to the right.
I'm thinking with the way the roof is right now and the way that shadow is in center field. I mean, besides Lucroy, he's really the only one that squared a ball up today. I mean, Ryan Howard hit the sinking line drive, but anything with a curve or a slider or something is going to be hard to pick up the rotation.
For a couple hours.
Depends on how long Ryan Braun wants that roof that way.
Good curveball. Drops in for a strike. 1 and 2. It's a big curve.
Very good. It's very big, and it's very good. I said in the open, the league is hitting a $134 versus his curveball, a $118 versus his changeup, and $273 with his fastball.
It's an old school curveball too. Right?
It is 12-6.
Tries to get a fastball in on the inside part of the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, when we arrived, we had mentioned that the Brewers had the worst record at home. They were 24 and 36. Well, if they win today, they're going to be tied with the Phillies for as far as win totals at home. Although they've played way more games in baseball terms. Here at Miller Park, they're on this run of home games, and because of it, they're going to be on the road for a good portion of September.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Ruiz. Fastball up and in. 3 and 2. Howard will go. Pitch is chopped fair over the third base bag. And the Phillies are retired here in the second. They do get a leadoff single, but Howard is left over at first. We've played 1.5 on to the bottom of the second. Chris Davis will lead it off when we come back for the Brewers. Brooks and Baker, a special guest to get the week started, recapping this Phillies road trip and also the Eagles' first preseason game, which is going on right now. That's on Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute, weekday mornings from 6 until 8, over on the Comcast Network. Jerome Williams last night pitched well, but received a no decision. With 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts during the game. So his last 3 starts, 3 walks during those last 3 starts, and an earned run average under 2. Chatting with Mike Franco, who still hasn't fixed his hat, Matt.
His hat still doesn't fit over that hair.
Oh, to have that problem, huh?
We need to talk to Frank Koppenberger, get him a bigger hat.
Think Frank can get us that hair? Chris Davis takes a strike.
Might cost you some money.
Might hurt initially. No balls and 1 strike to Davis. Davis is 3 for 7 with a double in the series and a home run. And he waves at that one. Got a piece of Ruiz. It's 0-2. On the outside corner. That's a good spot right there. Got him looking one away. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. By the way, they were selling some Turkey Hill ice cream last night at the ballpark. Zach Brown Band performed. It was the 3rd concert last few days at Citizens Bank Park. Billy Joel had been there before. Ground ball to first. Cesar Hernandez has it, and Harang can't hang on to the throw. And Scooter Gennett is aboard again for the 5th straight time in the series. That should be an E1. And that's what they score it. So last night, Scooter Gennett had 4 hits, and he saw 6 pitches. It's an incredible note that he's the first player this year to collect 4 hits with 6 or fewer pitches. Now, it's happened once in each of the last 3 years. And now 4 straight years. But nobody else has done what he did last night.
Really?
6 pitches and 4 plate appearances.
I start throwing in a big curveball or
start him off with something else.
Minus a strike.
Here is Segura, who is 2 for 8 with 2 RBIs in the series. That one gets by Ruiz, and Gennett's going to go to second. Honestly, what's happening right here has been a clear indication of what the issues have been for the Phillies in the series. They just haven't played well.
No, and they didn't. I mean, this is a pitch that usually you see Chooch will get over. You sit up inside, although it is tough. I mean, you set up a fastball inside, you spike it away. But it happened last night to Freitas. Base hit, wild pitch, single, 3 pitches. Game over almost.
In about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So Gennett leads off second with 1 man down. Segura waves at it. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Harang had to either step off or spin back because Gennett was way off the second base bag. I don't know if he was going to go, but he was thinking about doing something. Ground ball towards shortstop, gobbled up and spun on by Freddie Galvis, and he throws out Segura. And there are 2 outs. Another nice play defensively. Second one of the game for the Phils, one by Blanco, that one there by Galvis.
Well, it's a very nice play. You know, it's a play that we've seen quite a few times. You know, a lot of balls do go up the middle because he plays the pull, but that time he had a very good jump. You don't have to talk about a strong arm. He's got a cannon. But just like Blanco, he caught that ball behind him. If I did that play right there, I might hit like section 115 with it. Just airmail it.
Down the left field line, Ashe's on the run. It is a foul ball, and it's 0-1. I would have liked to see your tumble if you did that.
Yeah, I would have pulled the Matt Houston rule.
You're aging yourself. Your Matt Houston reference. Although you did sign as a shortstop.
That I did. And it must have been a real good one because I never played a professional game there.
You were too good. You were barred. No balls, 1 strike to Herrera. 230, 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Curve ball outside. Although Youngman's a pitcher, he's on deck. He's no walk in the park. Got pretty good numbers as a hitter. You got Jeanette at third. 1 run's already in. That came back in the first.
Not very often you see a team go after the 8-hole hitter and want no part of the 9-hole hitter, the pitcher. Especially when he's staring at you with a 350 average.
Off the hands, out of play, and it remains 1-2. Well, Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Jose Bautista has given the Blue Jays a 3-0 lead over the Yankees. 28th home run of the year. Blue Jays are trying to salvage that series. And pulled it within a half game of the Yankees after the Yankees won the first 2. 7 games left after this one between those 2 teams. You know why all that's happening too. The American League wild card race is tightening up pretty good too. Tampa Bay, who we saw, and I thought they really struggled. I didn't think they were in the same class as some of the other teams. They're only 2 out of the wild card.
Didn't we sweep them?
Yeah.
No, we took 2 to 3. Home run, Nola gave up, lost
right.
1-0.
Yeah. To the pitcher. Cesar Hernandez out at second base will take care of Herrera, so the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. There was 1 Phillies error. We'll go to the top of the 3rd. Cody Ashe, Aaron Harang, and Cesar Hernandez when we come back. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, here's the question. Who is the only pitcher in Brewers history to throw a no-hitter? The only pitcher in Brewers history to throw a no-hitter. Answer will be revealed a little later on. We'll go to the top of the third here in Milwaukee. Another beautiful day. About an hour and 15 minutes north. The PGA Championship is going on. They're in the final round. State Fair is going on as well. Cody Ashley will lead it off. Ashley is 3 for 7 in this series. Batting 8th today. It'll be Ashley Harang and then Cesar Hernandez, the top of the order. Breaking ball, and it's 0-2. If we look at his splits so far, it's going to be half breaking ball, half fastball.
Yeah.
He's only thrown 5 balls, 21 strikes, 5 balls. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. And Ashley is called out for the 5th strikeout. He does not agree with Manny Gonzalez.
Well, Tony went at it pretty hard with the upper body. It's a pretty good curveball.
I thought he checked, but let's see this one here. This will give us an idea.
No, he went.
Yeah, he went. Aaron Harang is up there ready to hit. He's got a little Gary Sheffield going today. A little bat movement. Hitting 182. Strikeout number 6. Aaron's hustling up that first base line and they throw him out. Strikeout goes 2-3. So 6 strikeouts through the first 2 2/3. That's a pretty good pace.
Yeah. Remember in the open I said he was a ground ball pitcher?
Yeah.
I lied.
He's grounded a lot of pitches.
He's a strikeout pitcher.
Cesar Hernandez will buy some time as Harang goes back to the dugout.
I mean, coming into this game, he's had 74 in 3rd innings. He had 64 strikeouts. I don't really consider it a strikeout guy. Control pitcher, ground ball pitcher.
Yeah, if you're less than a strikeout per inning, I don't know if you're a strikeout.
Yeah.
Now his season high is 8 strikeouts as he delivers one at the knees to Hernandez. He had 8 strikeouts against the Padres a couple starts ago. That was also his season high in the minor leagues. 0-2, quickly 0-2. Trying to get Hernandez to go fishing after that one. He did not bite, and 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cesar went down looking. He saw a fastball right by his knees his first time up. Swing and a miss. He got him. 7 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. He has struck out the side twice so far. He's making it look easy. Bottom of the 3rd coming up with the Phils down 1-0. precision plays of the game, and it's all about the strikeout.
It's all about having control of the fastball right down the middle, coming back to the off-speed pitch to Freddie Galvis. That was a little cutter inside, down the Brown fastball inside. See where I'm getting at? On a lot of strikes. Very good curveball. Big swooper right there.
Precision plays of the game brought to you by GMC. 7 strikeouts for Youngman. He'll lead it off here in the bottom of the third. He takes strike 1. So take that. Youngman's had a good year with the stick. And only 26 at bats. He is 7 for 26.
He has more hits than sack bunts.
Well, either he's not bunting properly, and he gets the 2 strikes, and he's swinging the bat,
or
they're just letting him swing the bat.
There you go.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him with a curveball. Second strikeout for Harang. So 1 away. We go back to the top of the order for Shane Peterson. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, in a season that certainly has not gone the way the Phillies would have hoped, there is some hope if you look towards the future. Very interesting reading on MLB.com this week, referring to a report out by MLBpipeline.com, who ranks the minor league systems throughout baseball. And coming into this season, we all know that the Phil's minor league system was ranked in the bottom third in baseball, between 20 and 30 in all of baseball. But since they've been able to move a couple players, and most notably moving Cole Hamels and getting some of those prospects back, the latest rankings have the Phillies minor league system now at number 7 in all of baseball. So a huge jump, in fact the biggest jump throughout the major leagues for the Phillies, jumping all the way up to number 7. A big part of that are the 4 prospects that they did get back in that Cole Hamels trade. So now the Phils now have 7 of the top 100 prospects in Major League Baseball in their system, which is the reason they made such a big jump. So, you know, as the Phils continue to turn the corner and turn this roster over and try to improve their minor league system in hopes of getting some of these young guys to the major leagues, they've made great strides over the past couple of months about being able to do that, guys.
Yeah, Eichhoff and Asher have both pitched well for Lehigh Valley. How about Jake Thompson in his first 3 starts for the Reading Titans? 3-0 with a 1.80 ERA as Peterson lifts that one to left field. Asher will track it into the sunshine. Now there are 2 outs. But beyond that, there are some others. I mean, J.P. Crawford's played well this year. Phillies top pick a couple years ago.
Yeah, and Cornelius Randolph, who the Phillies selected number 1 this year, is ranked in the top 100 prospects as well. I think he's number 97. So all of those guys, Tom, is what making those rankings kind of jump up. So it's certainly good to see.
Yeah, and some players who really have who need to be given some recognition. I mean, there are a number of them, but how about Steven Shackelford, who the Phillies signed as a minor league free agent this past offseason? The 26-year-old, he set the Reading Titans saves record. He now has 27 in Double-A. Now he's a little older, he's 26, but you would think that he'll have a chance to either move up here or at least move up to Lehigh Valley to show what he's, you know, what he has. That's a guy that they picked up as a minor league free agent this past offseason. 1 ball, no strikes to Jonathan Lucroy. Tripled his first time up. He bloops this one. It's going to be a tough play. Dominic Brown will get there though, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. Brewers go down 1-2-3 in their half of the third. 3 in the books here in Milwaukee. Phillies trail at 1-0 as we go to the 4th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by McDonald's. Double the lovin' at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Well, a beautiful afternoon for baseball here in Milwaukee. We hope you're enjoying your Sunday back home in the Delaware Valley. Phillies will return home Tuesday night to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. You see more folks wearing the old school Brewers logo than the current logo that they wear. The logo that they wore on Friday night. Some people think it's one of the best logos of all time in baseball. Very innovative. Freddie Galvis struck out his first time up. We're going to be saying that a lot. Shows bunt, takes strike one. It's 0-1. Because Youngman has 7. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sometimes you wonder if it's the strike zone, if it's broader than most. It's not.
No, it's not.
He's just pounding the strike zone. I mean, Bruce Dreckman is. These pitches are strikes. Tapper over the mound. Scooter Gennett has it. Sweeps the throw in time. 1 away. Even in the digital age, there are office products, Matt, you can't live without. Like 3M super sticky Post-it notes. Available in a world of colors and ideal for the most hard to stick surfaces. Personally delivered to your desktop for free. By who? But WB Mason. So 1 away, and here's Odubel Herrera, who struck out his first time up. To the right side, Gennett can't get it. And that should be a base hit for Herrera, and it would be the 2nd hit of the day for the Phils. So how do you stop these strikeout stretches?
Swing at first
pitch. Well, Odubel Herrera is over at first base, and it's time now for Pete Maccannon's quote of the day, brought to you by Geico. On Odubel, he plays like his hair is on fire. He's so much fun to watch during batting practice when he shags fly balls. He works so hard, and it shows in the game. He still makes some aggressive mistakes, but boy, he's fun to watch play. Now, if you ever get to the ballpark early, you'll watch guys shag in the outfield. A lot of times it's just pitchers. It's not often that it's outfielders. Not all the time. But for Odubel, he makes a game out of it. Howard waves at the first breaking ball. It's 0-1.
That's good to hear. And it has shown. He's played very well in center field. I think he has made aggressive mistakes. We talked about it last night. Diving for a ball that he probably should have played on the hop and kept it to a single. But I've enjoyed watching him out there. And especially we have such a great view. You can watch the angles that he's taken after fly balls or balls that hit right over his head now.
Yeah, we liked him in spring training, and then the league was adjusting against him, and he looked like he was overmatched. And we're thinking, can he last up here? But he figured it out. The ball's 1 strike to Howard.
think a lot has to do with Tyler Youngman on the mound, is that delivery, the crossfire, hides the ball very well, sneaky fast, not overpowering fast, but he's sneaky fast, and everything's down in the zone.
And cross-firing at 6'5", 6'6".
6'6".
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. Lucroy has no chance. So on base number 13 for Odubel Herrera. He's in scoring position in a 1-0 game. He got a great jump.
They had a great jump, and he picked the perfect pitch. Curveball in the dirt.
I would think it'll be another curveball here to Howard in some way, shape, or form. Now, he's had a lot of success backing up that curveball on the outside part of the plate to lefties.
You can see right there, that's where his right toe drags. Usually as a pitcher, it goes forward. Now, when you have that going at a 45-degree angle towards third, you can really tell he's a cross-firing right-hander.
Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking pitch. Howard will hustle up the first base line. Lucroy fires. That's his 8th strikeout, so he's already matched his season high.
Watch his toe. He just crossfires and drags it away from where normally where you're going towards home plate with that drag.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. You don't often see that kind of angle, and it's pretty exaggerated when you're looking at it from behind home plate.
Well, he's consistent. There's one line.
I wonder how long it took him to be that consistent with it.
You would think being 6'6", crossfiring, it'd be hard to repeat your delivery a lot.
There's Blanco fly to left his first time up.
Manny Gonzalez does not mess around at third base.
He's got a decision right in his head.
Big time.
He's got to miss with one of these curveballs and make it a hanger for somebody, doesn't he?
You would hope. In his last outing versus the Cubs, last 2 2/3 inning.
And he walked 3. He threw 80 pitches in 2 2/3. 2 balls, 1 strike to Blanco. Way upstairs. It's now 3-1. The way it's going today, though, even in a count like this, he can drop that deuce on him. Three and one. There you go. Ball 4, and that's the first walk of the afternoon. It puts runners on first and second. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Some folks out here in Milwaukee have sent us some photos of their stay. Some of the beautiful field shots. Take strike 1. Another curveball. 0-1. He's thinking, well, you called everything else a strike. I want that one too. It wasn't a bad pitch. It was close.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually in the exact same spot the curveball was. If anything, the curveball is going to be a backdoor curveball, which is never a strike, by the way.
Runners lead off. Swing and a miss and another curve, and it's 1-2. This is remarkable, though. It's not often that you see the dispersion of pitches like this. I mean, usually it's fastball most of the time and then mixing in the secondary pitches. I mean, this is a pretty even split, I would think. It's pretty close.
Coming into today's game, he was 70.5% of the time with a heater.
Yeah.
And 22% with the changeup. Or curveball, sorry.
It's got to be more than that today. There's another one. It gets away from Lucroy, and the runners will advance. So 2 in scoring position now for Dominic Brown. It's a wild pitch.
So he overthrew his curveball. Now this is where you're hoping that in the back of the pitcher's mind, man on third base, he does not want to bounce the curveball. So I don't want to hang a curveball either, so I'm going to look the fastball inside. Struck him on his first at bat with the fastball inside. Steady diet of curveballs so far.
Let's see if Dominic is ready for it. Youngman has not given up a home run since his last start against the Phillies back on the 30th of June. Only 2 home runs this entire year. That's a remarkable number. Curveball tapped foul. He just got a piece of it.
I mean, you would think he's going to, unless he has a lot of confidence and throwing that curveball over and over and over. Check out what kind of sequence they're going through with signs. Heater in.
And he dribbles it up the first base line. That will stay fair. Side is retired. 3 unassisted. Phillies leave a couple in scoring position here in the 4th inning. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th. Ryan Braun will lead it off for the Brewers when we come back. Visit buyattoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy Jefferson, where help is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at chevydealer.com. Well, here in Milwaukee, it's 2 teams that are at the bottom of their division. The Brewers at the bottom of the National League Central. The Phillies at the bottom of the National League East. The National League East is totally different than it was at the All-Star break. The Mets lead the division by 4.5. Some of the numbers that are coming out of Washington are remarkable since the All-Star break. They're hitting just .226 as a team. as Ryan Braun starts the home fourth and takes a strike. Their run differential, I know we've talked a lot about that because the Phillies' run differential was so bad in the first half and is better in the second half. Their run differential is -23. And part of that is because Jason Worth is hitting $150. Wilson Ramos is hitting 159. And Anthony Rendon is hitting only 250 or 205, I should say. 1-1 to Braun is outside, 2-1.
It's amazing how the game can turn around so quick.
I mean, really, everybody, I mean, I know I was included in this. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think most people thought they were just going to run away with the National League East. 2-1 pitch to Braun. Foul back to the screen. It's 2-2. Now, and things can change, just as we saw with the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Now people think, well, maybe the Mets are going to run away with this division because of their pitching. The ball's a bit outside. 3-2. Just a bit.
Oh boy, you.
One in Rome. Popped him up right around the second base bag. Behind it is Galvis and makes the catch. One away. Adam Linda's coming up. Well, this Tuesday, speaking of the Toronto Blue Jays, they'll be in town for a 2-game series. And on Tuesday night, it's the Larry Boa Bobble figurine, free to all fans, brought to you by Toyota. Tickets can be purchased for that 2-game series by going to Phillies.com. Where'd you get a bobblehead of Larry Boa eating sunflower seeds? Another one toward the left side this time, a pop-up. Freddie Galvis calls off Blanco, who gets out of the way. 2 outs. That brings Chris Davis to the plate. 12 home runs this year, including 1 in game 1 of this series, the opposite way. 12 homers and 36 runs batted in. On the outside corner with that first breaking pitch, it's 0-1.
Seen a different curveball today from Aaron Harang. A little more bite to it. And before he's been getting underneath and it's just kind of been spinning up there. Throwing it a little harder today.
Over to left side. Blanco's going to cut off Galvis. They have time. And the side is retired. 5-3 on the putout. So Aaron now has retired 8 straights. Not too shabby. We'll go to the 5th inning. The Phils looking for a little offense when we come back. Up the fans trivia quiz answer. All right, Matt, here we go. Who is the only pitcher in Brewers history to throw a no-hitter?
I'm going to say Ben Sheets.
Well, Ben Sheets is a good guess. It is incorrect. Happened back in 1987. It was Juan Nieves against the Baltimore Orioles. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Carlos Ruiz leads it off here in the 5th. 8 strikeouts today for Taylor Youngman. Inside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. He struck out 9 batters in a game 3 times during his final season at the University of Texas. He struck out 10 one time. That was against the Baylor Bears his final year. Just trying to see if he's ever reached this mark. At least this year he has it in the minors and the majors. I got 12, Matt. 12 is his career high in college. Only in the top of the 5th, and he has 8 already. 2-2 pitch. And Ruiz lays off. It's 3-2.
Now, Cameron Rupp was his teammate, right? University of Texas?
Cameron went to Texas, but I think he was there before Youngman. That's a good question. There's ball 4, second walk issued by the big right-hander. So base runner for the Phils. Well, if you want to get that hat right there, what do you need to do? Well, go to Phillies.com/country and be one of the first 2,000 fans to purchase tickets to the August 24th game against the Mets. Again, they can be had by going to Phillies.com/country. Get tickets for the game and the hats. Not that hat that he made himself, as Murph pointed out, but the camouflage hat. As he struck out his initial time, he's 0-1. In there for a strike. It's 0-2. Matt, you are correct. They played together in 2009. That was his first year and Cameron's last year with the Longhorns. Swing and a miss, and Ashe strikes out. 9 strikeouts for Youngman. So I'd like to congratulate you on your research.
Thank you.
And your understanding of the University of Texas baseball history.
Well, we sat with Cameron last night. He was telling us some stories. And a lot of stories. You see another breaking ball.
Is he wearing a cowboy hat?
No.
He was wearing a cowboy hat this morning at the hotel.
Cameron?
Oh, yeah. He wasn't the only one.
Oh.
Cody had one on, too.
Oh, I thought maybe rookie day.
No, I thought that, too. 1 ball, no strikes.
The good old days.
Harang leads the Phillies in sacrifice bunts. He struck out his first time up. Just a bit low, 2-0.
It's a pretty good pitch.
May have been a tough pitch to bunt if you were Aaron Harang with the count 3-1. So 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I think he was in take mode both those pitches, hoping for a walk.
Fouls it off to stay alive. Foul ball, and Harang stays alive.
Hey, 7 pitches.
He's trying.
It's called battling right here. 2-seamer inside.
I don't know how he got a piece of that ball. Runner goes. Pitch is hit toward first, handled by Adam Lind, and Ruiz is up to second, 3 unassisted, and they're 2 outs. Phillies fans, did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Get the StubHub app today. Start at StubHub and let the fun find you. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Phillies.com. Well, another runner in scoring position for the Phils. Back-to-back innings now where they have a runner in scoring position.
Let's see if Cesar Hernandez can figure out his third at bat. First time struck out looking. Second time struck out swinging at a big curveball.
Yeah, Cesar is 0 for 9 in this series. We haven't seen long stretches of struggles for him since he started playing every day. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
When the guy is featuring a fastball and a curveball, now this is easier said than done. You sit on 1 pitch until 2 strikes. Then with 2 strikes, you go in the 9-1-1 mode. But you cannot swing at a curveball down in the dirt if you're sitting on a heater. Cesar Hernandez is a good fastball hitter. Stay with your strength.
So sit fastball.
Sit fastball.
And adjust curve.
If he throws you 2 curveballs for strikes, you tip your hat. Now you battle.
That one's up the first base line, hit softly. Lind has it, flips to Youngman covering in time by a hair to retire Cesar. 3-1 on the putout, no runs, no hits, 1 man left in scoring position for the Phillies. We've played 4.5, and the Brewers still on top 1-0. The Phillies Junior RBI League has been teaching kids how to play the game since 1989. This year, they'll reach more than 6,000 kids, providing uniforms and donations of gloves and other equipment. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a Citizen. We begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Not a whole lot of offense for either team. Phillies have 2 hits. The Brewers have 1. Phillies, though, have left 4. The Brewers have left 1. They've scored a run. Came back in the first. Scooter Gennett reached on an error his first time up. He went around on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. One ball, 1 strike to Gennett. That one's off his hands, blooped down the right field line. It is unbelievable. Remarkable. He's going to get at least 2 out of this. And he's there standing with his 12th double of the year. Just put the ball in play, boys.
I mean, this is a Martina Navratilova serve right there. It's a great thing. I mean, putting the ball in play, keeping it fair. The fastball inside. Tuck those hands in, and he knows it.
You put him on the list with Mike Mordecai and people like that. A ball and no strikes to Gene Segura. He was retired by Freddie Galvis his first time up. Nice play by Freddie to his left. In the dirt, and it's 2-0. That's a foul ball. Impressive play by the ball boy.
It's 2 for 2 today.
He almost slipped on that one too. Nobody has slipped better than Ben Davis though on this trip. Oh, slipped right out of the elevator the other day.
What did he step on? Water?
Water. Yeah. Wiped out. That's a big man to go down.
Oh, Lord.
At the foot of the elevator. Segura bunts.
Oop.
It's always the bat's fault, Matt.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't know if that's a good play, though. You got Elian Herrera coming up and then the pitcher.
I mean, it's 1-0 game. You want to get that runner to second base, third base. Sorry. I think we saw yesterday he did the exact same thing. But his first at bat yesterday hit the ground ball to second base with authority. So he has the ability to hit the ball to right field. I just don't like seeing guys bunt with 1 strike on you.
Herrera hits it through the hole on the right side. Rounding third and heading for home is Scooter Gennett. He'll score. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. Well, right place, right time for Elian Herrera. Howard kind of froze as the ball left the bat.
Cut fastball inside. Just out of the reach of Ryan at first base.
Second hit of the series for Herrera. And let's see what Youngman's going to do here. And he bunts it toward the right side. Harang has it. Nobody's covering first. And Hernandez can't get there in time. It'll be a bunt hit. But another bad decision by somebody. And I would believe it's Cesar Hernandez. He's got to be there to cover on that one.
Well, you see him. Yeah, he hesitated.
Why did he hesitate?
I don't know, because if it's a bunt like that, if it gets past Aaron Harang at first, well, Ryan Howard has it. As a first baseman, you're taught to come in as full speed. The only way a second baseman gets that ball on a bunt, if it's drag bunt really hard or pushed extremely hard.
Well, now the inning is alive and kicking with runners on first and second and Peterson up. He pops it up. That'll be out of play, and it's 0-1. Well, these last couple of games have been sloppy. Inside to Peterson. Peterson's 0 for 2. He's grounded to third on a fine play by Andres Blanco, and he's also flied to left field. Behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's pretty much taken over as the everyday center fielder for the Brewers. Carlos Gomez going on to the Houston Astros. That one's looped out toward left, but here comes Cody Ashley to make the catch, and there are 2 outs.
Well, here's that play on the bunt. The pitcher is supposed to come in this way here. The first baseman, Ryan, comes in at an angle this way. That's why you cover the ball. Cesar Hernandez notices that the ball is coming towards him, right? His job is to go full speed to the first base. Because Ryan Howard's already committing, if that ball gets past Aaron Harang, he can flip it to first base with Cesar covering. But the little hesitation, not realizing that either 1, Harang was going to get it, or 2, Ryan Howard was going to get it, caused for a base hit.
Yeah, the hesitation coming in, then the hesitation even going to first.
Right.
So now Lucroy with runners on first and second with 2 outs. Lucroy is tripled. He's also flied to right. That one's in there on the inside part of the plate. 0-1 to Lucroy. Well, another no-hitter in progress. Shelby Miller, who, if you get a chance to see the replay, made an unbelievable play to end the 6th inning. So he's now through 7 innings and a no-hitter against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He hasn't won since the 17th of May. Phillies have seen him a couple times since the 17th of May, and he's really good.
And he has some of the best stuff I've seen in the National League this year.
I still think that was a good trade. I mean, no, Hayward's with the Cardinals and they're in first place, but I still think that's a win for the Braves.
No, absolutely. Let's get a #1 guy at the top of the rotation.
1 ball, 1 strike to Lucroy. Outside, 2-1. Ryan Braun is on deck. And ball 4 will load up the bases. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.com TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Bob McClure out to the mound to talk with Aaron Harang. I don't know if Aaron Harang needs any advice on how to handle Ryan Braun. He's faced him now 39 times in his big league career. 8 for 39. He has 4 grand slams. He has 250 career home runs. It's 1 away from tying Robin Yount for the franchise record in home runs. Robin Yount with 251 has his number retired. A Hall of Famer, 3,000 hit club. Riders lead off in the first pitch to Braun. Down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Foul back to the screen. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, the last time Braun was up, he popped out toward shallow center. Freddie Galvis made the catch. The time before that, he grounded out to shortstop. But he picked up an RBI. Here, the Phillies will take a ground out, a line out, a punch out,
sac fly,
whatever. Whatever will end the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike to Braun. Curveball hit in the air, left center field. That's well hit. Herrera going back, and it is a grand slam. Number 251 for Ryan Braun. And he's just moved into a tie with Robin Yount for the most home runs in Brewers franchise history. And in doing so, has busted this ball game open. Well, that's a rather impressive name to put your name aside. And it's 6-0 in favor of the Brewers. Adam Lind, the batter, he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's popped out. That's a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, that was a long home run, too. That went off the concourse. Rattled around a little bit before it jumped back down. First grand slam for Braun since 2010, since June of 2010. The 2-1 pitch. Over toward the left side. Blanco knocks it down. Sprawls. And that'll be a base hit. I think Chris Davis will be the 9th man to bat in this inning for the Brewers. Well, there you see it. Corbin Thomas, who was here on Friday, is number 5. Former Phil. Jeff Jenkins, number 4. Seemed like everybody on the field knew it.
Yeah, I mean, it almost was thrown like a get me over curveball. Didn't have the hard bite that he threw earlier.
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Down the right field line, that'll be out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. See what Davis has done today. He was struck out. He's grounded out to third. Inside corner, and it's 1-2. Well, more and more, it doesn't. Nobody needs us to point it out, but that play that involved Cesar Hernandez, where he didn't cover first, really has come back and haunted the Phillies in a big way in this inning. It's kept the inning alive. It's allowed the Brewers to score 5 runs, 4 more. Line drive, base hit into center field. Adam Lind will stop at second. Now the 10th man to bat in this inning will be Scooter Gennett, who started this with a bloop double down the right field line. He's taking a peek into the dugout. Pete may be ready to make a move and bring Adam Lowen into this ball game. A little bit of a stall tactic by Ruiz. I don't even think Carlos even said anything to Aaron Harag when he went out there. And here comes Pete Mackanin. So that's going to be it for Aaron. So a pitching change here in the 5th inning. The Brewers have batted around. They have scored 5 runs. The big blow, the home run, the grand slam by Ryan Braun. Pete Mackanin will go to the left-hander Adam Lowen to try to get out Scooter Gennett. Pitching change here at Miller Park. We'll be back right after this. Ken Giles reflects on his new role as the team's closer, and we'll look back at the warm welcome for Jimmy Rollins in his return to Philly. Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz tonight at 5:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2 outs. 5 runs have scored in this inning for the Brewers. Aaron Harang is done. Adam Lowen will check in. And Lowen will face Scooter Gennett, who started this inning with a leadoff double, came around to score on an RBI single by Elian Herrera. First pitch is outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Pete was saying this morning when he was going over his lineup card, he said, he's talking about his bullpen, he said everybody's available, including Genmar Gomez, who was ill last night. That's why he did not pitch. He said, you know, we have to find some spots to bring in Adam Lowen. We've got to see what he can do. Well, he has found his spot. Not necessarily when he wanted to. There's a breaking ball that missed somewhere, and it's 2-0.
Pretty good pitch, right? And Carlos is having a little conversation, trying to figure out where if it was low, high, too much of the plate.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Tied a Major League scoreboard. Nick Ahmed's single breaks up the no-hitter in the 8th inning that Shelby Miller was working on. Diamondbacks have added another hit. That one's inside, 3-1. A little cut to it, and it's there. It's 3-2. Runners will be off. There they go. Swing and a miss. He got him. Ruiz will throw to first in time to finish off the strikeout, and the inning finally comes to a close. But Ryan Braun's grand slam has topped off a 5-run inning and has tied him with Robin Yount for most home runs in Brewers history. It also means we go to the 6th inning with the Phils now trailing the Brewers 6-0. Been stepped into wherever the Phillies have needed him this season. Shortstop, second base, or third. He has been solid with his defense all over the diamond. His bat has been even better. When Chase went to the DL, Cesar went into action and has been one of the most consistent hitters on the team. Batting .324 in the month of June alone. Hernandez has shined in a career-best 100-plus games. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Freddie Galvis is going to try to erase a 6-run deficit, or help erase a 6-run deficit, as we start the top of the 6th inning. He's 0 for 2. Taylor Youngman's been sitting for a while. He is working on a 2-hit shutout through 5. And he also has 9 strikeouts along the way. You're the Brewers, you got to be pleased with what you're seeing after the kid went 2 2/3 against the Cubs. His last time out. He was the Dick Hauser Award winner his final year at Texas. That's for the best college baseball player in the country. They have a couple of different awards for that. Another one is the Golden Spikes Award, which he was a finalist for. Dick Hauser Award named for the great Dick Hauser, former manager of the Kansas City Royals. Inside and low, 2-1. Line drive toward left field, and Davis makes the diving attempt. Did he smother it enough? He did. Thought it may have rolled out of his glove, but Jim Reynolds went out to look. One away.
He had a very nice jump right here. Comes in, makes a nice diving catch. It lands on top of the ball. I think that's the reason why they were kind of holding up for a second to see if he caught it.
The ground can cause a fumble on that right there. But he was able to keep his body smothered to it. With 1 out, here's Odubel Herrera, who is 1 for 2. He struck out his first time up, singled. His last time up was left over 3rd. Phil's trail at 6-0. And a breaking ball in there. It's 0-1. Youngman has reached the same pitch count with that last pitch that he had in 2 2/3 his last time out. Well, that ball looked like it jumped at more than 91 miles an hour.
He's had a late run on it.
His pitch count has been hefty the last 2 innings, 22 and 20. Way outside, it's 2-2. Wonder if they would just call it a day after 6 innings with him, even though they have a 6-0 lead. I guess a lot will depend on how long it takes him to get through this 6th inning. And he's due up 3rd in the bottom of the 6th. That one's into the camera well on the 3rd base side. Another one over to first base. There's been a lot of those. This one trickles foul, and it remains 2-2. Really have been a lot of those little ground balls up the first base line.
Well, there has, and a lot of them have come off with the curveball. It's so important to stay low when you're hitting against a curveball, because if that front hip comes up a little bit and you rise just out of your stance a little bit, that's what happens. You hit a lot of weak ground balls, topping them to the pull side.
He was way out in front of that and just got the bat on it to stay alive. 76 miles an hour on that curveball. This will be at least an 8-pitch at bat. Let's see if Odubel can cash in. Two and two. Out to center field, and Peterson is there. 2 away. Ryan Howard's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Well, as promised much earlier in this game, we do have the Data Strong fan photo of the game, and it comes from @DavidMcCabe71, and the caption says, "This young Phillies fan got grief for being a Phillies fan and cheering on the Red and Fightin' Phils down in the D.C. area."
Huh?
Hopefully not too much grief. You can ask you to tweet your strongest fan photo to #PhillyPhoto, Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by the good folks at T-Mobile.
Got himself a lineup card from the game that he picked up. Ryan Howard takes on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Reading Fightins are currently in first place in their division in the Eastern League. They just recently had a 10-game winning streak that was stopped. Outside, 1-1. That must be a fun team to watch with Crawford at short, Nick Williams and right, and those pitchers that have had themselves a good year. They even started with Aaron Nola and Jesse Biddle. Biddle was up at AAA, and Nola, of course, will pitch on Tuesday here. One and two to Howard. Tapper back to the mound, and the side will be retired. 1-2-3 go the Phils here in the 6th inning. 3 1-2-3 innings on the day for Youngman. Middle of the 6th, Brewers up by 6. And by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Phillies trail at 6-0. Well, the sausage race, which features the mini sausages on Sundays, so they're pacing themselves. Now, I think if they reviewed this race, Matt, there may be a discrepancy.
Well, and I think there's a little interference by a certain individual.
Is that Martin Maldonado?
Yeah,
I know it's his birthday.
Go ahead, start. Go.
I'm not sure if that's fair. And Chorizo just kept on going. Mini Chorizo. Well, there's Segura, and he lifts one foul over the dugout and out of play. It's 0-1. Martin Maldonado celebrating his birthday today, so we'll give him that. Who had Chorizo in our poll?
Jeff.
Jeff Halleckman, our producer, won for the third straight day. Somebody else had him. I had Brott. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brott will never win with a hat like that. Murph, who'd you have? I think Murph had Chorizo also. Murph, who'd you have? I think we're having some technical difficulties with Murph.
Murph's at the golf course.
Larry Boa, ball boy this weekend, retrieves that loose ball. One ball, 1 strike to Segura, who's 0 for 2.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, Murph.
I wanted to answer your question. I'm going to be rude. I had Polish in the big race today.
All right.
Well,
Matt, who did you have?
Hot dog.
Didn't go well for hot dog either. Ben or Scott must have won the other half of the pool.
Again.
Outside, and it's 2-2. Or Jim Jackson. Jim's here. Jim may have had.
Who?
Jim Jackson. He may have had Chorizo. 2-2 pitch. Back towards second base. Cesar to his right, a step and a half. And 1 away. And Herrera's coming up. See if Youngman comes out into the on-deck circle. There's nobody warming up. They might as well let him go. I mean, at this point in the season, he's stretched out enough. And Phillies have managed only 2 hits against the young man. There's Taylor Youngman. He was going over to
Darnell
Coles, the hitting coach, just to get some advice on what to do against Adam Lowen. Back to the screen, 0-1. Lowen threw 2 innings at most in games when he was in the minor leagues. It's no big deal if his spot comes up in the order because the man can hit. So they can let him stretch out a little bit here. No balls, 2 strikes. Herrera singled home a run his last time up. That made it 2-0. Then he scored on the grand slam by Braun. He went around. It's a high, I guess, fastball or cutter. That ball had some cut on it too.
Yeah.
Second strikeout for Lowen. They're 2 away, and here comes Youngman.
Your Lowen's fastball is not straight. It'll tail at times. Have a little late cut.
You watch it live, it looks like it's got more than on the replay. So Youngman's 1 for 2. He taps it foul. It's 0-1. Lifted into shallow center field. Herrera's coming running in and slides. Did he get it? He made the catch. What a play by Odubel Herrera. And the side is retired here in the 6th inning. Ball was not hit that hard. Herrera had to turn on the Jets. And Adam Lowen has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. That smile you saw on the face of Ryan Braun is a big part of the summary. His grand slam broke open what turned out to be a 5-run fifth inning for the Brewers. They lead at 6-0. The Phillies 3 for 26 with runners in scoring position during this series. Aaron Harang lasted just 4 2/3 for the Phils. Taylor Youngman's gone 6 so far, and he's about ready to begin his 7th inning. He's pitched well. Ryan Braun with his 251st career home run. Even with the blemish of using performance-enhancing drugs, he's had a nice bounce-back year. Should be a clear indication to him that he never needed to use those substances. Andres Blanco will lead it off. Blanco is 0 for 1. He flied out and walked. 2 pitchers warming up in the bullpen for the Brewers just in case. First pitch is up high from Youngman. The lefty is Neil Kotz, and Corey Knebel is the right-hander. Inside 2-0. Nine strikeouts, 6 groundouts, 3 flyouts. It's come pretty easy for him this afternoon. Although if he walks Blanco, he may be in a little bit of jeopardy here. There's a strike on the outside corner. That was kind of a gimme. And it's 3-1. A line drive caught by Youngman. His glove was right in the spot where that ball was traveling. 1 away.
Well, let's rephrase that. That ball caught him.
So on the Arizona series where Blanco hit one back to the box and hit the foot of the pitcher.
And guess what? That line drive back up the middle and him catching the 3-1 heater back at him. I mean, this is a good swing and good reactions.
Very good reactions.
That's your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Here's Dominic Brown, and he takes way outside. 1-0. It's got to be an awful feeling to hit the ball square right on the nose.
Brutal.
Right on the nose. Cesar and Michael Franco. I don't know what they're doing. There's a base hit into center field for Dominic Brown. A 1-out single. It's only his 2nd hit of this road trip. And that'll bring Carlos Ruiz to the plate. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 98 Phillies Fathead will be given out to all fans on Saturday, August 29th, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. It's a 13 by 26-inch removable wall graphic featuring Michael Franco. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com for that day. So get your tickets now. Taylor Youngman will be greeted by a standing ovation as he exits after 6 1/3. Craig Counts has decided to go to the bullpen after he's reached 100 pitches. 6-0. One man down. And they have made a pitching change. Taylor Youngman is done. His former high school teammate, Corey Knebel, will take over. 31st game for Knebel, who also was his college teammate at the University of Texas. 38 strikeouts and 32 in the third. Craig Counsell had felt like he had seen enough. 100 pitches. He had started to get a little wild the last inning or so. But man, I would have let him just roll right through the 7th inning, or at least let him see what he can do against a couple more hitters.
Well, and they had some options. I mean, they haven't used the bullpen at all. This is Knebel's first time this series pitching. And really, they haven't. You see the wow, 55 fastballs, 45 curveballs.
Incredible split. So close. That's it. No changeups. Although he doesn't throw his changeup that much anyway. But today he didn't throw it at all.
Didn't need to.
I think he throws his changeup. What is it? 11% of the time. 7% of the time. Carlos Ruiz will be the batter with a runner at first. Tried to check. He went around. It's 0-1. You know, it's up to every manager. I mean, Craig Counsell's no different than other managers or pitching coaches. Sometimes I think, you know, you got to push a young kid through, particularly when he's struggling. And this is a minor struggle. Curveball, 0-2. Maybe he taught him the curveball when he was playing with him in high school and college.
Well, that's what he throws. He throws a fastball that'll hit 97 and a big old curveball that you just saw.
Carlos, he wasn't even close in that at bat. And there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Cody Ashley to the plate.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was sitting on an off-speed pitch. I mean, that ball is by him, and then he starts to swing.
Hector Neris warming up in the bullpen. Ashley takes a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Ashley has struck out twice, both times swinging against Taylor Youngman. Youngman picked up 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed in 6 1/3 against the Phils today. Oh, and 2. One-two pitch. One's popped way up there. Off the Maskey's Lucroy, back toward the screen, and has a play. Is retired. Home run up the elevator shaft, Matt. At least it was close. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Time to stretch here at Miller Park. Underway around the National Football League. Preseason games over the last few days. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team, 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Home 7th inning. Barrelman's here, Matt. It's the old Brewers logo and mascot. That's where they played at County Stadium, which was a few hundred yards away from Miller Park, in the same parking lot. They have a great photo of the final game at Miller Park here in the press box, and the finished construction of Miller Park. Final game at County Stadium and the finished construction of Miller Park.
County Stadium was a pretty good place to hit. But man, did it have some terrible dugouts and a brutal locker room.
Was it really?
Oh, my Lord.
It's one of those baseball, football facilities. The Packers used to play some home games there. Adam Lynn leads it off. It takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. I did see a game there one time. Dave Parker was playing for the Brewers. We were sitting a few rows behind the on-deck circle. He was a massive individual. Down the left field line. That'll slice out of play for Cody Ashley, who gives it a look. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lind. Adam Lind. Excuse me, Peterson is 0 for 3. He's grounded out. He's flied out twice. Outside corner, and it's 1-2. Inning in a third so far for Adam Lowen. He's struck out 2. He's got a ground ball out and a fly out. And a high breaking ball, 2-2.
If he can dart that slider at 85, flowing away to the left-handers, you don't even have to throw it out of the strike zone.
There's a fastball that runs out, ball 4. Yeah, he can help this ball club or some other ball club down the road, because lefty on lefty would be, he could be really devastating. Sunday, August 30th, when the Phillies wrap up their series with the San Diego Padres, it's the ShopRite Back to School Lunch Bag, free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. There's the lunch bag right there. Here is Lucroy. He has scored 2 runs today. Lucroy has tripled and scored. That was back in the first. He walked and scored in the 5th. A quick toss over to first base. Interesting slide step by Adam Lowen. Kind of flicked his foot out as he was coming to the plate.
I can't imagine Peterson trying to steal second base up 6-0.
Yeah, he's only got a 3-step lead off first.
In the bottom of the 7th.
In the dirt. Oh, he's going to go to second base. The throw by Ruiz gets away into center field. Will be a wild pitch, and then E2. That'll be the 8th error of the year for Carlos.
Well, even though Peterson doesn't have a very big lead, still being very aggressive. Chooch never got his feet squared up to second base. That's why it sailed on him.
Yeah, left foot was pointed toward third. So there's a natural sort of screwball action for a right-handed thrower in a play like that. Phillies will play the infield in, down 6-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. That really wasn't as close as Lucroy made it seem. It was high. All right, that was close. He hangs over the plate a little bit.
Yeah, but a little too close for the head area.
Ball 4. So back-to-back walks to begin the 7th. And Ryan Braun's coming up. And Ryan Braun provides us with our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Came back in the 5th inning. With a curveball from Aaron Harang. Hit it deep to left center field. It was his 251st home run. His 5th grand slam of his career. That is why that's your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Yeah, at that point it was a 2-0 ball game. Made it 6-0. So Bob McClure out to talk to Adam Lowen. Sometimes Adam does get into these little spurts where he has trouble with his command. I mean, he's still a work in progress. The former pitcher turned outfielder, now pitcher again.
I talked to Adam the first day we were here. I haven't seen him since the WBC days.
He was an outfielder.
Yeah, and he's having a blast. He says he has a few things he's still working on, but he's very fortunate to have another chance to be a pitcher in the big leagues, and absolutely loves it and enjoying every minute of it.
Yeah, the first day we saw him, we asked what he was looking forward to and what he thought he would enjoy the most. He said, "This right here, just walking out onto a major league field again."
I didn't realize how big he was.
He's a big kid. Yep. Brothers lead off first and third. Braun is 1 for 3. He has 5 RBIs today. He had one on a ground ball in his first at bat. Chopper over to short. Galvis has it. He's coming home. Well, they've got Peterson caught between third and home. Ruiz will run him back, and Lowen will tag him out. The runners do not advance past second and first. So fielder's choice. The put out goes 6-2-5-1. So Braun's at first and Lucroy's at second. Now, you don't always want the pitcher to be part of this rundown like this.
No, but Freddie does a nice job with a strong throw. But watch how Chooch is in the inside lane. He pumps. All right, now he curls to the right. If you have the ball and you're on the left-hand side of the base runner, when you throw the ball to the third baseman, you go to the left. If you're inside, he cut across. Almost would have had some catcher's interference.
Yeah, and I think that's what Blanco was saying to him after the rundown was complete. So Adam Lind is now the batter. He is 1 for 3. Reached on an infield hit his last time up to the left side. Fastball misses outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
But you're so used to when you have a rundown from third to home that the catcher is in the inside part of the grass.
Right.
And fair territory. But Chooch figured he was in the foul territory. Well, he's going to give it up and go fair territory. Bottom line is they got the force play.
Outside again. Line drive, base hit it to left field. Lucroy to third, and he's being held there. So the bases are now loaded. And Chris Davis will be the batter. Davis is 1 for 3. He has struck out, he's grounded out, and he's also singled. Pete Buchanan's coming out to make a double switch. So Adam Lowen's day is done. Hector Neris is going to come in to try to get out of this bases loaded 1-out jam in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Phillies down 6-0. And we have another pitching change. Third pitcher used this afternoon by the Phils. It'll be right-hander Hector Neris who's coming in for the pen. Change for the Phils, a little double switch action. Darren Rupp takes over in left field. He'll bat 9th for the Phillies as Cody Ashe's afternoon is done. And the new pitcher will be right-hander Hector Neris, who in 14 games is 2-0 with a solid ERA of 2.5. And as Neris finishes up his warm-up tosses, it'll be Chris Davis that he'll face. Davis is 1 for 3. He is struck out. He's grounded out to third, and he singled his last time up. Neris comes into a bases loaded situation. He has Lucroy over third, Ryan Braun at second, and Adam Lind at first. You know, the last time the Phillies were swept in a 7-game season series or more was back in 1896. It's a long time. If they lose today and they're backed into the corner down 6-0, the Brewers would have won all 7 games in this season series. 1896, and the team was known at the time as the Baltimore Orioles, the same franchise that plays in Baltimore now. 1896.
It's amazing.
They lost 12 straight that year. Chris Davis is up, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Tried to check, but he went around. According to the home plate umpire, Bruce Dreckman, and 0-2 the count. See, Davis chokes up a little bit as Neris gets ready to fire the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Ruiz. It's 1-2.
Watch the road as Neris pitches. Some split finger fastball will go straight down Some will run into left-handers, some will run into right-handers. It's almost like a knuckleball action.
Yeah, it's been really good, and you know, one of the things that's different from Hector this year compared to last year, he's got better command of it. He's dropped some weight, and his fastball has more life on it, which sets up that split so much more. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded. Phil's down 6-0. And it runs outside, 2-2. Carlos out to talk to Neris. Swing and a miss. He got him. There's that split. Yeah, there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Here is Scooter Gennett.
Watch how this ball just drops at the very end, straight down. Never overthrew that one. Didn't bounce it. Threw it to an area at the bottom of the string / knees.
190 zone.
190 zone. That 190 zone is about 155 right now.
Outside to Scooter Gennett, 1-0. He struck out his last time up. Doubled the time before. That was both in the 5th inning. Doubled and scored in the 5th, struck out in the 5th. They sent 10 men into the plate, and they scored 5 runs. That'll be out of play off to the 3rd base side, and it's 2-1.
I think a lot has to do with Neris being up here. Just getting confidence, getting an opportunity to pitch more, not sitting around 6-7 days.
And throwing strikes.
Throwing strikes. Trusting it, believing it.
There's a liner out towards center field. Odubel Herrera is there, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 3 men left. On to the 8th inning. The Phils trail the Brewers by 6. ever. ShopNissan.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. 7 in the books. We move to the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies wrapping up this road trip. They swept 3 in San Diego. They lost 2 of 3 to Arizona. And they've lost the first 2 here in Milwaukee. So it's a 4-4 trip so far. The deciding game to push them over 500 is here, but they only have 2 more at-bats to erase a 6-run deficit. Darren Ruff, who came on as part of a double switch, will lead things off against Corey Knebel, who got the last 2 outs in the 7th inning for the Brewers. See if Ken Giles gets up in the bullpen. Pete Buchanan said, I got to get him into a ball game since he hasn't worked in 3. He said with the off day tomorrow, he said, I'd like to have him pitch. The plan is even if we're trailing. Darren on the year is hitting .244 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. He swings at the first pitch, 1 away. Cesar Hernandez is coming up. Let's check in with Murph. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks, Tom. I feel like we say this a lot. It's brought to you by St. Joseph's University. I feel like we say Jose Fernandez is on his way back from the disabled list, this time from biceps tendonitis. The Marlins ace has been out for the last 2 weeks, suffering from that biceps tendonitis. Tomorrow, he is expected to have to start playing catch, and if he's able to do that without pain, they will progress it along. He said he'd like to pitch by the end of the season, but they're going to wait and see whether or not that will come to fruition. And a young man in the Milwaukee Brewers organization named David Denson is making national news. He becomes the first player associated with a major league team to come out saying he is openly gay, and he did that last night in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. A story written about him saying that he is gay. Told his teammates down there in rookie ball that he was, and said he was greatly accepted by his teammates. They've been very supportive, and he feels like a weight has been lifted off his shoulders. So the first person associated with Major League Baseball to come out and say that they are gay happened overnight, guys.
Yeah, this past spring, as that one is chopped toward the left side, Segura does not get it over there in time to throw out Hernandez. This past spring, Billy Beane, the former major leaguer who is openly gay, spoke to each and every major league team and talked about the inclusion. David Denson also spoke with Billy Beane about that. 15th round pick in 2013, just 20 years old. And he was the MVP of the Pioneer League All-Star game this past year. Doug Melvin, who will be stepping down as the general manager of the Brewers, said David is a highly respected member of the Brewers family, and he is a very courageous young man. Our goal for David is to help develop him into a major league player, just as it is for any player in our system. And we will continue to support him in every way as he chases that dream. The ball's 1 strike to Freddie Galvis after the infield hit by Cesar Hernandez. That's in there, and it's 0-2.
You know, Tom, in regards to Denson, of course, the goal would be that that wouldn't be a major story at some point somewhere down the road, that when a person announces that. But, you know, obviously it is creating a buzz throughout Major League Baseball. I had a chance to talk to Jeff Francoeur about it before the game. And I just said, you know, I asked him, I said, did you see the story? He said, yeah. And I asked him about his reaction. He said, look, he said, in my mind, the bottom line is if the kid can play baseball and can help teams win baseball games, then that's really all that matters. He says, you know, it's something different. That's why it's making news. But he said, you know, certainly he would be welcomed on a team that Jeff played for. And he said, bottom line is if the kid can play and help us win, I want him on my team. I thought that was a very interesting thought.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, Michael Sam came out when he was at the University of Missouri and eventually was drafted by the St. Louis Rams. That was a big story, of course. And Michael just stepped aside from his commitment to the Montreal Alouettes in the CFL to take care of some personal issues. Odubel Herrera is the batter. Odubel 1 for 3. He is struck out. He's singled. He's also flied to center field. Breaking ball, it's 1-0. If you get a chance to read the story, it is a good story, and it also talks about Dale Scott, the veteran umpire who recently came out publicly and talked about his life partner that he has been with for some time, and how Major League Baseball embraced Dale coming out. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a foul tip, and a foul ball, I should say. It's 1-1. Hernandez at second base with 2 men down. Here in the top of the 8th inning, the Phillies trail at 6-0.
It's nice to see Cesar get that infield knock. Maybe he can get it going on the short homestand.
Yeah, maybe the Phillies as a team can get things back going on the short homestand, because they were playing so well. They were 10 games over 500 since the All-Star break, but that has obviously changed over the last couple of days. In a lot of ways, it starts with pitching, and we showed you the numbers against the Brewers, but the numbers haven't been great in the series against Arizona and the series here these last 6 games. One ball, 2 strikes to Odubel. Swing and a miss. He went after a high fastball. And that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 8th inning. So they leave one in scoring position. Their struggles with runners in scoring position continue here this afternoon. And we move to the bottom of the 8th. Phillies family packs are available by going to Phillies.com. You check out the available dates that are coming up. It is 4 tickets, 4 Hatfield hot dogs, and 4 Cokes for $100. A great value for families. Go to Phillies.com for more information. We begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Gene Segura will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Fouls the first pitch down the right field line, out of play. It's 0-1. Hector Neris came on to get the last 2 outs in the 7th. Segura only has 2 extra base hits since the 1st of June. That is surprising. Although last year he played most of the second half of the season with just a handful of extra base hits.
Well, it's surprising because he swings extremely hard.
He went around on that one. 1-2. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Pirates are pounded the Mets 8-1. Pedro Alvarez has a home run, 2 RBIs. Nationals play the Giants out in San Francisco to wrap up their nightmarish West Coast swing. Even though the Mets have struggled in that series against the Pirates, they haven't lost any ground because the Nationals have been so bad. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's 3-2. Tyler Thornburg is in the bullpen for the Brewers. Looks like he is going to get the honor of pitching the 9th inning. Cesar Jimenez is warming in the bullpen for the Phils. I don't know if he's warming or if he's just loosening, stretching. No, he's warming now. Cesar's been good every time he's been up here with the Phillies.
Tom, I'm kind of disappointed that we did not get a foul ball up here. I thought we were in the foul ball zone right here.
Well, we've had a couple of places we've been at during this road trip where Arizona and here where we could have easily been in position to get one. Right field, Dominic Brown is out a few steps from the track. Makes the catch, 1 away. What was it you told me that Joe Siddall from the Blue Jays has caught 3 this year?
3 this year in the radio booth.
So, but they haven't all been in Toronto.
No. 1 in Toronto and 2 on the road.
Where were the 2 on the road? Do you know?
No idea.
Some spots you're just, I mean, Pittsburgh, Washington, no chance. Our place, because there's a little overhang, it's difficult. Citi Field is really difficult because of the large overhang. But Milwaukee and Arizona, those are 2 prominent spots where you can get one. What would happen if it came up? I don't know.
Pretty good chance you're going to jump in front of me to try to catch it. Get your 15 minutes of fame again.
0-1 pitch. There's a grounder foul. And it's 0-2. Logan Schaefer on deck. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Second strikeout for Neris. And here comes Logan Schaefer to pinch hit. After the ball game, stay tuned. Marlon Anderson will be along to break down this affair between the Phils and the Brewers. He and Marshall Harris on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post Game Live. Pete Buchanan is going out to the mound. Neris' day is done. Cesar Jimenez will come on to face the lefty Logan Schaefer. So we've got a pitching change here in Milwaukee. Phillies down 6-0. Heck of a job by Neris. Inning in the third, scoreless, worked out of a bases loaded jam. We'll be back right after this. Cesar Jimenez will come in and make his first appearance. He's being brought back up from the minor leagues. Cesar has been good with the Phils every time he comes up. He's not an overpowering pitcher. This is what he did in Lehigh Valley this year, 3.61 earned run average in 41 games. Not overpowering, but his ball does move, and he's coming on to face the left-hander Logan Schaefer. Phillies in their half of the ninth inning will have Howard, Blanco, and Brown. Those are the scheduled hitters as they trail at 6-zip. That's the only game he's pitched in. 2/3 of an inning against the Red Sox. He was one of the better Phillies relief pitchers last year. In fact, he had a good spring.
Very good spring. Along with another 6 left-handers.
Ground ball foul. It's 0-1. Look at Schaefer's numbers as a pinch hitter. Last 2 games, he's come on to play center field late in the game as a defensive replacement. So we get a miss and an off-speed pitch, 0-2. To the Brewers dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. Now Neil Kotz is back up and warming instead of Thornburg. It's kind of strange.
Well, you do have Howard leading off. You have Brown coming up third.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Nats are trailing the Giants 1-0. The game's in the bottom of the 4th. Hang with it. Off the front of the Phillies dugout. Now he's peppering both dugouts. John Miserock's men can move.
But that one just woke him up.
Line drive caught by Cesar Hernandez, and the side is retired. So Brewers go down in order finally here in the 8th inning. And we'll move to the 9th. The Phillies down by 6 have their work cut out for them.
Phils head home. They have an off day tomorrow, and then the Toronto Blue Jays come to town. Here's your pitching matchup on Tuesday. R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, at 7-10, will face Aaron Nola, righty for the Phils. And on Wednesday, it'll be Mark Burley in his 13-5 record, taking on Adam Morgan, two left-handers in that game on Wednesday night. A short 2-game home series for the Phils, and then back out on the road. But guys, this one's not over yet.
Well, Murph, they're going to need a little offensive outburst here in the top of the ninth inning. They trail at 6-0. They've managed only 4 hits. Well, just as we saw the first 2 nights of this series, Peterson moves from center field to left field late in the game. And Logan Schaefer, who just pinch hit, is now in center field. And the new pitcher is left-hander Neil Kotz, 1-0 with a 3.23 ERA. He'll take over for Knebel. Taylor Youngman went 6 1/3, allowed 3 hits and no runs. He stands to be the winner. Ryan Howard will lead it off. Howard is 1 for 3 today. He singled in his first at bat. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. (2-0).
How about the game in Seattle and Boston today?
What's the score now?
8-8.
And it was 7-1, right?
7-1. 8-1.
Seattle was leading.
Yeah. Now it's 8-8 in the 10th inning.
After what, 22-10 yesterday?
Yeah.
Howard hits it to left field. Playable though for Peterson, who just went there. Seven for 33 on this road trip for Ryan, and here comes Andres Blanco. Blanco 0 for 2 with a walk. Inside, 1-0. Fly ball right center field. That's pretty well hit. Schaefer on the run. It is gone. A home run for Andres Blanco. It's his 4th of the year, and the Phillies are finally on the board. It's a 6-1 ball game. Well, that ball really carried. And it makes a winner out of Miriam Lehman of Malvern, who's won $100 thanks to Andres Blanco on the McDonald's home run jackpot.
It's a very good swing. Squares that fastball out over the plate. Good balance. I say the ball carries very well, left center, right center here.
Really did carry. Yeah. Dominic Brown chops one softly to the second baseman. Two outs. And here's Carlos Ruiz. Inside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. Line drive, base hit into right field. So Ruiz is aboard to keep this game alive. And Jeff Francoeur will pinch hit for Jimenez.
Pinch hitting for the pitcher will be number 3, Jeff Francoeur for Jimenez.
Francoeur has been a very good pinch hitter this year, 8 for 19. 1 pinch hit home run. So he's down by 5. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Runner goes from first, and there's a liner out toward left center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Ruiz will go to third, and Schaefer will pick it up and hold Francoeur at first. So runners on first and third with 2 men down. And Darren Ruff will be the batter. Darren lined out his first time up. Frankie Rodriguez is starting to throw in the bullpen. And Rick Kranitz is going out to the mound. This is not a save situation yet.
Surprising that Frenchie get another single in the late innings.
He loves these late innings.
He loves pinch hitting.
I don't know what Adam Lynn just said to Rick Kranitz. Kranitz was going out, and they kind of waved at each other. I don't know if Lynn was telling him to go back to the dugout or what. This was just a stall tactic here to get Rodriguez warmed up.
He's probably asked him if he wants me to hold him on or not.
Could be what it was. It could be what it was. So Darren Ruff with 2 men down. Update: Giants now lead the Nationals 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th. Hunter Pence has hit a 2-run home run. Up high, 1-0.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Mm-hmm. Three and 0. Remarkable that Francisco Rodriguez may come into this ball game. Ball 4. The bases are now loaded. And Cesar Hernandez is coming up. The tying run is now in the on-deck circle. Craig Counsell's coming out, and they're going to go to their closer. So this is a save situation. Up by
Remarkable.
Up by 5. And the Phillies have loaded up the bases. So Rodriguez is going to come on. He has saved the last 2 games. And he's firing a couple more pitches out in the bullpen. So Neil Kotz's afternoon is done. Here at Miller Park. They trail at 6-1. Cesar Hernandez is walking to the plate. He'll face Francisco Rodriguez. Rodriguez has converted 33 consecutive saves. It's been nearly a year since he blew a save. 0-2 with a 1.91 earned run average. He kind of throws or pitches now like Jonathan Papelbon did. He's not overpowering. He mixes his pitches. He's got an excellent changeup. And let's see if the Phillies can solve him on this third day. Cesar today is 1 for 4. An infield single his last time up. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. At bats now. This is the 6th at bat, I should say, for Cesar against Francisco Rodriguez. Outside corner. Wow. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Chopper foul. And that's where the count remains with 2 men down. Be out of play down the left field line. Herrera gives it a look, so we'll do it again. Cesar battling here. Down to the count 1-2. Ruiz leads off third. Francoeur second. Ruff off first. Phillies trail at 6-1. That one's hit sharply to short, but Segura has it, flips underhand, and that's the ball game. The Milwaukee Brewers have completed a 7-game season sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies as they win it today by a final of 6-1. 377 career saves for Francisco Rodriguez. He is now 7th all time. And speaking of records, Ryan Braun's grand slam tied him with Robin Yount for the most home runs in Milwaukee Brewers history. And the Brewers sweeps of at least 6 games in a season. Well, this